Government of India has done a phenomenal job in terms of building the highways, roads, etc.
Ek bangla bane nyara is the dream of everyone's.
Double click, you should be able to know what is the circle rate, market vis-a-vis market rate. The amount of confidence that it will provide for the buyer.
Right. Hello and welcome. You're watching One India News, and this is a special broadcast on the pre-budget expectations from several sectors here on One India. We are getting you voices from all across the industries, trying to get the pulse of what is going to happen in just a moment from now on when Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman would be presenting the budget. Now, it's my honor to be joined by a very young, dynamic individual, especially working in a real estate sector, which is often considered to be infested with sharks, if I may say. So, Mr. Sridhar Samudrala, founder of Hecta, is joining us on the broadcast. Sridhar, thank you so much for speaking to One India News. And before we begin the show, tell us about Hecta, what it is all about, and also the budget expectations of your sector and yours personally from the finance minister.
Sure. Thank you so much, Pankaj, for the opportunity to speak here. I'm Sridhar Samudrala, and director of Hecta PropTech Private Limited, startup in whether you call it fintech or PropTech. But what we do is we sell properties of banks across India. So we are onboarded by 45 banks where they have a lot of properties, against loan defaults. Which we sell. So we're solving problem of certain amount of real estate, getting back certain supply, and also bringing back a lot of money to banks. So, we are actually bringing back some money to the Ministry of Finance, to the banks. So we're going to contribute. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we are on the spend part, on the contribution part.
Right. And what are your expectations from the finance ministry as far as the real estate sector is concerned? A very tough sector, I would say. Lots of challenges and a lot of subsidiaries also dependent on this particular sector. So how do you view it when it comes to, say, loans from the banks, also the kind of hunger in the market, the demand and supply? How do you see it?
Yeah, so, the demand supply gap continues to exist and continuously increasing. I mean, we are now the most populous country, very high disposable income, and a lot of people migrating to cities. So there is huge demand within cities, and the demand for per square feet, per square footage is also continuously increasing. Earlier, when we were like kids, we used to stay like 5 people in a small house, in a 2-bedroom house. But now everybody needs a room, everybody needs access to amenities, etc. So there's a huge demand for increase in the quality of housing or office space. There is a huge demand for A-grade, space across India. So the demand continues to increase, not just in volume but also in quality.
All right.
Okay. So
yeah. One critical aspect, Sridhar, that comes to our mind when it pertains to buying any property, be it residential or commercial, and Hecta, deals with, I would say, top-notch residential and commercial properties. As far as the digitization aspect of the real estate sector is concerned, be it the registry, be it property transactions or regulatory processes, what are your expectations as far as the digitization part of this industry is concerned?
Okay, so Government of India has done a phenomenal job in the last say 20 years digitizing the records, the registration records, land records across different states. So that's a phenomenal job. So if you go to a registration department today, you will see most of it is a digital transaction. Everything is recorded. But I think now is the time to use the digitization effort to add intelligence, democratization, to improve the confidence on the records, on the title. So for example, imagine if double click on a property, you should know the ownership history, encumbrance, or who was holding it for what time, etc. Second, In double click, you should be able to know what is the circle rate, market vis-a-vis market rate. Double click, you should know if there are any claims on that property.
Right.
I mean, it's such a huge technology. I mean, in the country that, we can crawl all the judiciary records, registration records, huge data sets put together and come back and tell you upfront, okay, sir, there is a claim on this property from this gentleman or on this property or whatever. The amount of confidence that it will provide for the buyer,
Right.
it will improve the velocity of the transaction, confidence on the transaction. Yeah, and I mean, the revenue, this stamp duty revenue is among the top 3 revenue items for every state. It will contribute immensely to every state. I mean, the complexity is so huge today. I mean, in India, being a state subject, the nomenclature is different. The process is different. If you go to, Bihar, they'll call it biga. If it is marla in Punjab, it is ground in Chennai, square feet in Bangalore, square yard in somewhere, etc. The complexity is so diverse, and the process that is set up in each state, though the purpose is the same, the process is different. Yeah. So, but the beauty is that digitization is done. So we can use that. We can use technology to solve, provide everything on double click.
Right.
Or one click is done.
Indeed. It's imperative that, with such a high stakes sector pumping in so much money back into the economy also is the need of the hour that needs to be digitized for a very transparent. You and I
Yes.
are always very curious and cautious about the fact that, hey, I'm buying this property, whether it is all error free or not. Maybe 10
Right.
years down the line, it should not, come back to me as a liability. Rather, it
Right.
should be an asset. Well, you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong, Sridhar, here, that when we talk about infrastructure and a very decisive push that this particular government has been giving it to it, and we are expecting the same in this year's interim budget as well, something related to infrastructure as well. How does it stimulate the growth of the real estate sector? Are they both interconnected, infrastructure development and real estate together?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, infrastructure, I mean, the kind of work that the current government has done is phenomenal in terms of building the highways, roads, etc. So, it will obviously, reduce the distances. It will open up more and more pockets for development. The cost of development has gone up so high, the cost of land acquisition, the cost of development, the cost of approvals, timing, skilled manpower, project execution, all of it is adding up. So, by the infrastructure, once the time is reduced, open up more and more pockets, it'll democratize and, ensure overall growth of those
Right.
cities, towns.
Mm-hmm. Sridhar, you come from Hyderabad, you have traveled all across the world. Now you're working out of the national capital of India, that is New Delhi. And all these places, including the western part of the world and this part of India, are mostly, I would say, developed. And so much so that at times people refer to it as concrete jungles. Now, that is what real estate, somewhere has to draw the line also. So if we talk about some green initiatives from your side, some eco-friendly practices that the real estate sector can indulge into, so what it would be? And secondly, do you think government is paying attention to it as well?
Yeah, I mean, we have these lot of rating scales on sustainable buildings, etc. Those are well established. I think there is an aspiration of a
Mhm.
lot of developers to go up on that scale. In fact, if they have to attract the next generation is very, very, respecting of the,
Aware of, yes.
very aware, respect, and want
Mhm.
the green part of it. So, one is, if we provide certain tax incentives, improve the
Mhm.
competitiveness of these developers to, move up the value chain,
Right.
uh, will really help. I mean, at least, say some stamp duty incentive, if it is a, platinum rated building or a gold rated building.
Mhm.
One is, being power friendly. I mean, that will have a direct impact on the consumption, on the bills of the residents. But second, even if the certain incentives are provided for developers to go up that ranking and come up with more sustainable buildings,
Right, right.
will be of significant importance.
Absolutely. Sustainability of both the commercial aspect of it and the economic aspect and the ecological aspect. Very important here. One final question, Sridhar, before I let you go. Talking about sustainability, Ek Bangla Bane Nyara is the dream of everyone's. Be it a person living in the rural part of India or the urban part of India. Mm, Affordable housing is something that we have constantly found mention of in the previous budgets also. This time around, what are your predictions? Do you think something would come up as far as the housing projects are concerned? And if so, how does a real estate sector complement it? I know it might be a loss-making proposition for many builders, but affordable housing is something that is the demand of the current I would say gentry that we have in India, mostly.
Yeah, historically, I mean, there's been a lot that has been spoken about affordable housing, etc. But I mean, the cost of construction, the cost of approvals, the time that it takes. I mean, there's nothing affordable about it by the time it comes up. So, maybe if government comes up with certain dedicated pockets so that it helps developers acquire low cost, affordable housing friendly pockets and promote them, it will give a boost to it. Otherwise, it's impossible for a developer to, find land, acquire it and with enough. It is definitely a marketing stunt, but
At the end of the day, okay.
government aggressively comes up with and promotes it, it's not going to happen.
Sridhar Samudrala, thank you so much, founder of Hecta, which obviously is a name to reckon with when it comes to housing projects, real estate, both commercial and residential. Sridhar, we would definitely get in touch with you once the budget is done. We wish you a very good day. And also, let's keep our fingers crossed for the interim budget 2024.
Sure. Thank you so much, Pankaj, for this opportunity.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.